on.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Frank Messina, and this is the June 21st, 2022 meeting of the Chatham Historical Commission. This meeting is being conducted via remote participation only, but there's just some quick administrative notes that we have to read. This meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify the chairman. Seeing none. Pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021, signing of an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, including the extension of his March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law 30A 20, until July 15, 2022. This meeting of the Chatham Historical Commission is being conducted via remote participation only. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately address the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while it is in progress may do so by calling the phone number 508-945-4410, conference ID 609-239-164 hashtag, or by joining the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. Despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. Michelle, just one quick thing. I'm just reading this and listening to myself. So after July 15th, we technically have to be live. We don't have a ruling yet from the state, huh?
Yeah, nothing's confirmed yet. I talked with Katie about it, and she said it is being talked about at the current time, but no decisions have been made. So I guess it'll be a last minute thing. But I'm guessing that more than likely hybrid meetings will go on for quite a while.
Okay, for public information, that was Michelle Clark speaking. Michelle is our administrative coordinator, administrator, assistant. Forget your title, Michelle. Okay, first action here
she's
is
everything.
I'm sorry?
I said she's everything for us. That was Sandy. Sorry.
Vice Chair Bob Lear.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Steve Burlingame.
I'm here.
Ben Smolenzinski.
Here.
Stephanie Hamilton, not here. Jane Moffett, not here. Don Aikman.
Here.
Sandy Porter.
Hello?
Sandy.
Yes, I'm sorry. I missed that. You cut out on me. Go ahead.
Right. Sandy's here. Janet Tennyson.
Yes, here.
Okay, in the absence of Stephanie Hamilton and Jane Moffett, alternate Sandy Porter and Jane Tennyson will vote, and the chair, Frank Messina, is here. Okay, we have kind of an abbreviated agenda. A couple of who's that?
That's me. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. But we have a couple of additional administrative items, specifically the minutes of May 17th, 2022. You all have been provided a copy. Hopefully you've had time to review it. Are there any comments, questions, additions, deletions?
Mr. Chairman, this is Don. I'd like to add something to the second page where it says the reconsideration vote on the public hearing was discussed and recommended, and recommendation to vote was not taken. I would like to add due to a denial by the chair to that sentence.
Due to a denial as a chair at his discretion, right?
By the chair.
By the chair at his discretion, right? Okay, Christina, you're here?
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, I hate to say this, but I have a change. On page 2, third paragraph down, boy, am I getting nitpicky. On the third paragraph, the next to last line, after voting nay, Messina, Aikman, there's a comma missing. You were going to get an A++, Christina, but for that comma, that's it. It's all over. Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as?
Frank, there's one other correction. It's Janet Tennyson speaking.
Yes, Janet.
On page 2, the 6th paragraph down, a motion made by Mr. Lear and seconded by Ms. Moffett. It's in the next sentence. It's diminish instead of, it's diminish is misspelled. It's diminish instead of diminish, D-I-M-I-N-I-S-H. Minor, but.
No, that's okay.
Okay,
You got it?
good.
Got it. Thanks.
Christina? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We'll now take a motion. I need a motion for the acceptance of the minutes.
I move approval of the minutes.
As corrected.
As corrected, thank you.
And second?
I'll
I second.
All right. Okay. Roll call. Mr. Lear,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Don,
Yes,
Sandy,
Yes,
and Janet.
Yes.
And the chair reluctantly votes yes. Okay, here we go. Like I said, we only have one really official action to take, and that is the reappointment of the Historical Commission representative to the Community Preservation Committee. This is a 3-year term, and I don't know why it's a 3-year term. And your chair is going to have a discussion with the Community Preservation Committee chairperson and with the select board to find out why we're doing what we're doing. In the past, it was just a motion and of the individual boards and commissions who actually do have a representative, the planning board, the historical commission, but somehow the select board now is in the last few years has requested or has required that this appointment be approved by them. And there is some discussion of whether that is really required. So again, we're going to go ahead and meet the requirement or the request of the Community Preservation Committee that we reappoint. And the reason for that was the fact that they have a meeting coming up in July, and there would be insufficient time for the select board to reaffirm our appointment. So with that somewhat long-winded explanation, our representative for the last 3 years has been Stephanie Hamilton. Stephanie said to me in an email, said that she would continue if no one else has the burning desire to be the representative to the Community Preservation Committee. If you haven't done it, it's a relatively easy, straightforward board. You generally only have about 3 or 4 months of meetings from the fall into early spring prior to town meeting. And of course, as you know, you review the applications of all the applications. You're one of, I guess, 9 members of the Community Preservation Committee. And obviously we like or prefer the historical representative to represent our views of the commission, although there's no reason that they can't take an independent action. Having said that, does any other member of the commission wish to put their name in for nomination as a representative in addition to Stephanie? Okay, hearing none, I guess I would like to move that the Historical Commission reappoint Stephanie Hamilton, member of the Historical Commission, to be the representative of the Chatham Historical Commission to the Community Preservation Committee. Do I
I'll
have a
second that.
second by Janet? Thank you very much. Any other discussion?
No, that was Sandy. I seconded it. Unless Janet got in ahead of me. It was me.
I think
Sandy.
Janet beat you to the poll.
Okay.
Yes. right.
Fine.
So, okay, if there's no other discussion, we're going to take a vote. Mr. Lear,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Don,
Yes,
Sandy,
Yes,
Janet, and the chair votes. Yes. Thank you very much. Michelle, could you please transmit that officially to Ms. Aikman and also to the select board?
I will.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
There are two other items of new business, just quickly. There is the Preservation Awards Committee and the process. We talked about it. We had a rather successful 2022. There were only 3 or 4 awards, but it went off well, and it went off well because of Michelle doing 90% of the work in conjunction with the Historical Society, and we do appreciate that. And I think the fact that we have changed the way the committee, the Preservation Awards Committee operates, where the town has accepted most, if not all, of the administrative burden as through the Community Development Department, as well as the financing of the plaques, which is our only major expenditure. So, and it's going along. I think the one decision we made, I just wanted to formalize it, was that in one year we had like 10 or 12, and that's a lot. It's a lot of plaques. And we've decided to, I think, was a maximum of 8, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah.
8.
And we also agreed among the committee and also with the town that it would be a biennial. I looked that up. BENNIAL, which means every 2 years, a biennial preservation award. So we'd only do the award every 2 years. And that's with the committee. Sandy had been part of our process, and she asked to step aside a bit. And Janet, have you changed your mind, or we still consider you? Okay, good.
No, I haven't changed my mind.
All right, good. So Janet and your chair will continue to, and I think I'm still chairman of the committee.
You bet.
Haven't been able to get Mr. Kevin Wright to take that over of the Historical Society. So anyway, we do effectively have 6 members, two from the Historical Commission, the Historical Society, and the HBDC. We could use an at-large member. So if you could think about it, if you think somebody who has a strong interest in community preservation and would like to, just let me know. And that's it. I guess I just wanted to formalize, Janet's participation as a member of the committee. I don't know if we need a vote. Just anybody have any objections? Good.
not a
Okay.
bit.
The other quick one, just quickly, is the Historical Commission. There's a group in town, which some of you may be aware, which is the Historic Chatham group. Don was involved with myself and a number of people with this group. And we've been around for about 8 or 9 years, maybe longer. And this is a group that's made up of all the specific historical venues in town: the Atwood, the Marconi, the Windmill, Historical Commission, the Mayo House, through the Chatham Foundation, Chatham. Help me here, Bob. What's
The
the
library.
Conservation Foundation.
Right, got Conservation Fire and the library. I have a sheet here. I should just read it. Okay.
and the Railroad Museum.
The Railroad Museum, the Elbridge Public Library, and the Cal Nickerson. So it's a good group. And of course, one of the most important is the active participation of the chamber and Mary Kavanaugh. So that group, and we, last weekend was History Weekend, and all of the museums were open. Some were half price. The windmill was open. We had a spectacular day. We ground corn and had over 100 visitors. So anyway, I just wanted to be aware of that. Now, myself, I've continued to be part of that group. And I guess at the present time, there is not a second person from the Historical Commission who participates in that. We meet very rarely, but it's a good group. If you are interested, I'm just putting it out there formally to you guys that if somebody is interested in participating in this group, your presence is welcome. So I will send out an email when the next meeting occurs. But if anybody's interested, please let me know. It's the only new business I had. Does anybody have any other comments relative to new business? Moving along. Michelle, we've got a couple of hiccups, so you're not really ready to discuss the current application update, right?
No, I'm working on it, but I'm trying to do it in between other things and I haven't been very successful, but I am working on it.
Okay, so that's just something we're going to continue to look at again. Michelle, we do have a number of issues that we felt we needed to do and bifurcating the application. So there's not just one application, a separate one for National Register properties and separate for Chapter 158, where there is some confusion. Okay, so we're going to discuss that again next meeting.
Frank,
Yes.
it's Michelle, may I just say that if anyone has any comments or suggestions or, would like to have anything different about the applications, just either call me or email me. I'm happy to hear what you have to say. So thank you.
Okay. A couple of activities that are proceeding, and I just wanted to engage the rest of the commission in what's going on, is the archaeological surveys of the Chatham cemeteries, specifically generating Form Es. Again, we have Form Bs, which are specific to individual houses. These are Mass Historical Commission forms. We have Form As for area forms, like the Old Village and South Chatham Village. And there is a so-called Form E for cemeteries. Steve Burlingame has taken on the assignment to work with and engage Craig Courtier to begin that process. It is currently proceeding in the administrative process as it relates to attempting to put Mr. Burlingame Mr. Craig Courtier under contract, who now is no longer an independent contractor and now works for a new company. And what's the name of the company, Michelle?
ACS, it's in Connecticut.
Right. I think it's Archaeological Consulting Services. So
Yes.
anyway, I'm sorry, somebody gonna say something?
No, it was just me, so.
Go ahead, Steve. Was that you?
I just said that was correct.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So anyway, that is proceeding, and we sent the statement of work out to you guys a while ago. And basically, what Craig is going to do is review the 15 or so cemeteries we have in town, check them out, make sure the proper documentation exists, whether or not the cemetery could in fact be eligible for a National Register designation. You need a professional to make that determination of whether something is potentially eligible for a National Register. There's renewed interest in the town of Chatham in cemeteries, specifically with the Cemetery Commission. I know the South Chatham Village Organization, as it relates to the Bassett Cemetery and upgrading them and to, I guess, pay homage to some of their Chatham's forefathers who are interred in these cemeteries, as well as potentially something which we're not really biting off to chew, the issue of other cemeteries or small pack cemeteries and things like that. So we're proceeding. I appreciate Steve Burlingame taking the action on that. Quickly, again, there was another activity we wanted to do, was to update our townwide archaeological survey report. And again, there's a Form D, D as in David, which will result from the update of the archaeological survey was done about 10, 15 years, no, 2009. So it needs update specifically, as we had discussed previously, to include the results of the Atwood dig at the Historical Society's site, and as well as the William Nickerson homestead, which was formally uncovered and documented as part of the Chatham Conservation Foundation property near the Nickerson Family Association museum and genealogical building. So that is again hasn't happened yet. We're in the process of attempting to work through the administrative property. Or I say we, Michelle, is trying to work through the administrative process to get the proper contracts. You know, when you have a contract to a certain individual, you need to have bids, et cetera, et cetera. So we're hoping to get that off the ground within the next few months, and then have hopefully someone like PAL or engage PAL to update the report. The upshot of that, by the way, is potentially, if we get this documented properly, just as we did with the South Chatham, and which was done years ago to the Old Village, we could potentially make a recommendation to apply to Mass Historical Commission to recognize the Nickerson Family Homestead as a National Register site. So we are proceeding. There was a telephone conference with Mass Historic, I think it was last week, and it's a conference that I know I sent you guys the invitation, but it seems to be, I know I usually participate and other people have not recently. But these seminars are pretty interesting because you have like at least 10 or 15 members of other historical commissions in town, and you discuss what they're doing and what they're not doing. But let me tell you, Chatham is really ahead of the game with some of these other towns in terms of pursuing some of this National Register designation, and we think it's important. Enough said about that. Monomoy Theater, it's still proceeding. I've had conversations with Greg Clark, the owner of 776 Main Street. He has engaged architects and is proceeding with an upgraded theater design, as well as the Washington Taylor House. That's wrapped around the angle with the HBDC and again with the zoning board relative to the houses he's trying to build on the other part of the process. But hope springs eternal that we're going to get a theater and hopefully restore the Washington Taylor houses as well as the theater, and have it operating as a professional theater in Chatham. Coast Guard Boathouse, it's moving along very positively, I have to say. Stuart Smith, the harbor master, at a recent Monomoy Yacht Club presentation on the state of the harbor, and gave a presentation, and he showed Stage Harbor, he showed the Mitchell River Bridge, and he showed the Coast Guard Boathouse in location. So everybody's working on it. And again, one more thing that hopefully is going to happen in the next couple of years. So keep working on things. That's it as far as the listed about business. I wanted just to just notify the members for our next meeting. Michelle, when is our next meeting?
July 19th.
Okay, July 19th. Do we have a hearing, Michelle?
We do. We have the Stage Harbor Road application that I've been sending you.
Okay, so we do have one hearing, so July 19th. And I'd like to ask, does the people know whether they're going to be here? Is anybody going to be away or not available on the 19th? Are we okay?
I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be
Anybody
here.
not, anybody not
I'll
going to
be
be
here.
here? Okay, so hopefully we will have a full house.
I should,
Frank, are we
Frank.
going to be remote or are we back to hybrid or?
We don't know. We discussed that. Was that you, Bob Lear?
Yes, just
Yeah.
curious. It doesn't matter.
I guess we have to wait to hear from whether or not the governor extends the order. If he does, we'll probably do hybrid. I think I like it. I assume the other members of the commission do. Gives us the option, if you want to be very careful, you can participate remotely. If not, we can have our meeting, in the annex. So we have to
Okay.
wait and see, Bob.
All right.
Okay, a couple of quick things. Relative to the issue of of an opinion of revote, after the last meeting, as Don pointed out, when the chair, at his discretion, which he can do, decided not to allow a revote of the previous motion, we said we would ask for an opinion on the process. We did, on goodness gracious, and sometime in early May, requested an opinion from the attorney. It has worked its way through the process. There was an opinion. The opinion came back to the town manager. It was reviewed and it was released in June sometime. So now, having said that, now we can discuss it. So Michelle will send that out to everyone, and it will be on our agenda on June 6th to discuss the process for a revote if necessary, and how that would work. It's like 3 paragraphs. You have to read it 3 or 4 times, and so I kind of need to get it down into more simpler terms for my own mind on how we're going to operate. And then, if it's something that we generally feel that we want to have part of our regular process of the historical commission, we'll discuss it, we'll vote on it, and we'll update the rules and regulations. So we have something for the next chair to hang his hat on, whether he decides to allow or use his discretion and not allow a revote on a matter. Is that acceptable to everyone? Okay.
Yes,
We'll wait and see
Frank?
where we go. Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question, and maybe Michelle can find out for me. What rules of order do we follow?
Well,
I mean,
let's
there's town meeting rules, but
Yeah,
what about?
let's discuss that
Say
next
that?
week. That's one of Sandy, without getting into, because this really wasn't on the agenda. I just want to announce it
Right.
from an agenda item. We will discuss it, and that question, which you had asked previously, will be part of it. And that's why we have
Okay.
to look at our rules and reg. So we meet again on July, whatever that date was. July
19th.
We'll look at both the legal opinion and then our own rules and regulations, and we'll see what has to
Okay.
change, if anything. And let me just say this. A lot is at the discretion of the chair, notwithstanding, good old Robert. Robert is like, yeah, this is what we should do, but it's up to the chair how you do it. You've given the chair a lot of authority, so if you don't like me, fire me. Okay. Having said that, last but not least, on the agenda is the fact there's another piece of correspondence which came in, which Michelle will talk about. And we actually, yes, you can't see me, we formally received this is not the official listing of the South Chatham Village, but the fact that it is formally eligible for listing, it effectively codifies the vote that was taken on June 8th, actually, to send the South Chatham Village National Register District application to the National Park Service, the National Register offices. So we're actually the clock is turning. I was actually thinking of calling Mr. Keating's office to find out, what's happening in terms of, what National Park Service is doing with our application. I think we've been told it is, quotes, pro forma in nature, but, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and she hasn't sung yet. And so we'll see where we are. And if that happens, then we will officially have the South Chatham Village as a national registered district, which means we will have another way to review properties in the South Chatham Village as it relates to the rulings of the Cape Cod Commission. We actually, just for, I think Janet's the only new person, may not be aware. Janet, once a area is determined eligible, not listed, even though it's not formally listed, but determined to be eligible, we do have the right to impose the Cape Cod Commission authority to refer to the Cape Cod Commission. So just
I
to
see.
clarify that. But
Thank you.
now, if we do actually get it formally listed, then we just have something else in another arrow in our quiver.
Mhm.
Okay, that was 10 minutes of Frank Messina talking. I'm done. Somebody else has something else to add?
I have quick questions. This is Steve.
Yes, sir.
We talked in the spring, we talked about getting I don't know whether it was the finance committee or the select board to make an appropriation to the historic commission, so we'd have some funds of our own without having to go begging every time we had some small item to fund. Did anything happen with that?
Well, unfortunately, everything was happening at the same time, Steve. I had applied for I had applied to Mass Historic Commission for funding to do these kinds of things. And it's
Yeah.
interesting,
You
you
did.
bring it up, because part of this meeting, this seminar I had with Mass Historic Commission, with Cape Cod Commission, I found out why my application was rejected. My application was rejected is I only asked for $23,000, not 25. That
Oh,
you have to ask.
great.
You have to ask for 20. I was being frugal, and so, but no, the minimum for a planning grant is 25,000. So I guarantee you, myself or whoever's chair is going to put an application in, and maybe we're going to ask for $30,000. Okay, so
Mhm.
You misunderstood my question. I think we were going to approach the town for our
Yes,
own appropriate.
I hear you, but Steve, it was late in the process where the town had already pretty much finished its budget review. The
Yeah.
budget review
Okay.
situation occurs in like February, January, September, October, November, and it was already a little too late in the process. I guarantee you next year. But then the reason I brought up the issue of the Mass Historical Commission grant is because we were late in the process. I was encouraged, well, why don't we seek money elsewhere? And by the way, this is the only reason we're in this conundrum, I guess that's the right way to put that, is because the current leadership of the Chatham Preservation Committee is interpreting it in such a way that they no longer allow us, the Historical Commission, to request or approve planning funds. For years and years, we were able to get money from the community preservation for the good works of the Historical Commission. So I don't see the current leadership of the Community Preservation Committee changing their mind. Sorry, Don, but we will have to look elsewhere for funding. And that elsewhere is the town budget, which could be not necessarily, easy to do. But I would say, in all fairness, the director of community development has been very, very generous in allocating funds for us. But you're right, absolutely correct, Steve. We shouldn't be begging for money. It should be something that we need funds to do our work, and it should be acknowledged. Boy, what a speech that was.
I recall that specifically, if we wanted to hire our own consultant in the situation to
Absolutely.
determine anything, and we should be able to do that quickly. And we can't do it quickly if we have to do it on a piecemeal situation.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
the other thing, and maybe it requires the the old historical commission to go change the state legislation and allow the historical commission to do what other groups can do, and that is to require the applicant to pay for a consultant. In other words, I believe, and I'm sure
Right.
that you and
I
Mr.
agree.
Lear will correct me, but in certain boards and commission, if they feel there's a need for an environmental study or something like that, they can tell the applicant, we're going to do that and you got to pay for it. So,
Yeah.
You're correct, Frank.
so anyway, it's a function of how historical commissions were viewed when the whole, what was set up years ago. But it's changed, and I think we have become more significant as part of the planning and zoning process. Okay, anybody else?
No.
All right. Well, it was close to a half hour, but a little bit more. So I think if there's no other items to come before the commission and nobody from the public is here,
I move to adjourn.
that was Mr.
Lear.
Mr. Lear. Okay, was second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Second,
Multiple seconds. I think Sandy gets credit this time. Okay. All right, no discussion. Mr. Lear,
Yes.
Steve,
Enthusiastically, yes.
Ben,
yes.
Don,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Janet.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you very much. Have a safe summer, and I'll see you all on January 19th, July 19th.
No, July.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay safe,
my life.
Frank.
Frank?